Hello there, this is Kim and welcome back to Fable Stand. So in this video I want to talk about something interesting, or at least something that I find fascinating and super interesting. So of course I sling cards, I'm a tarot reader, I collect decks, Pretty obvious if you watch my channel. I am a tarot reader, but I'm also just very interested in using tarot cards for animals and for pets. So I know some of you do this already, it's not the most original idea ever, but I just feel like it's kind of like an underexplored topic in the tarot community, because I remember asking around in tarot nerds and there's not a lot of resources out there. I mean, I've found a few blog posts here and there, but I don't think there's a book written just to address pet readings or using the tarot cards to get a glimpse into the animal mind or animal communication combined with tarot cards. So I feel like it's not really common, or it's not that uncommon either, but it just for me at least I couldn't find a lot of stuff on it. So it's just been a topic that's just really interesting for me. And definitely I pull cards for my cat Professor. I use tarot cards to check on his moods, to see to kind of get a glimpse into his little furry head, to see what he's thinking, because I think every pet guardian or pet parent has this question or curiosity, which is, what on earth is our pet thinking? What is our animal thinking? How do they see the world? How do they see humans? How do they see themselves? Are they even aware enough to contemplate these questions? So yeah, I mean, definitely animal psychology is very different from human psychology, and I think that our level of consciousness is a little bit different. The way we perceive the world is different. So one of the questions I have with using tarot decks on animals is can human archetypes apply to animals and then their psychology? So I think it's definitely transferable, but we just kind of have to reinterpret them a little bit. We have to interpret them differently. For me, I find when I do readings for my cat, a lot of the images become very literal. For example, when I pull Two of Pentacles, often it'll just be him running back and forth, checking in between the two windows, which is two very important vantage points kind of within his territory. And the Suit of Pentacles, I feel like when it comes to pet readings, often is associated with territory, their environment, and also their resources, the resources that are available to them, such as treats, food, toys, and that kind of thing. So in a sense, the symbols of tarot can be translated into an animal context, but it's just very different. So yeah, I've been digging into this topic a lot. I've been talking to people about it, and I started a little call for submission thing. So if you have stories about your pet, or slinging cards for your pet, or using other divination tools to read for your pet, or maybe you're an animal psychic, you communicate with animals, definitely send me your stories, because I would love to read them. I would love to put them on my blog if you're up for that. So yeah, links are down below if you want to check it out. So yeah, but in this video I just want to talk about pet readings using tarot cards. So one of the things I was thinking about when I'm doing pet readings is what's the point? How can you be sure that this is what the animal's thinking? Because with tarot cards, I mean, when you do human readings, you can get feedback, right? You can actually talk to that person and see, oh, does this make sense? Is this relevant to your life? Is this helpful? Is this insightful? So it's a reciprocated relationship, or it's a reciprocated conversation. But with animals, it's kind of you don't really get that feedback, or the extent of your knowledge, it doesn't really confirm what the cards have to say or what the cards are communicating to you. So what's the point then? For me though, I think, for me at least, the benefits of pulling cards for my cat has really strengthened our bond. And because I feel when it comes to pet, I'm pretty scientific with and fact-based when it comes to my pet. I just feel I shouldn't try to project too much of my emotions onto my cat. I mean, I do run away with my imagination sometimes. That's definitely is a thing, but I try to keep myself in check, right? Because I don't want to project my humanness onto an animal, onto an unsuspecting animal. I feel that's doing them a disservice. I mean, the stories I would make up in their heads, it gets a little bit crazy. I think as long as those stories aren't really damaging your animal, your pet. I think it's fine, just like something fun humans do to kind of rationalize their animal's behavior. But I think as long as it's not damaging or actually creating problems, I think it's fine. But yeah, definitely like it's strengthened our bond and relationship, because sometimes, say, pulling certain cards for my cat, like for example, if I pulled the Five of Cups for my cat Professor, and then I would start to wonder, like, what's upsetting him? Like, is he disappointed? Is he just moody? And I find that often when I pulled Five of Cups, it'll just be the weather would just be really bad. It'll just be really rainy and gloomy, and animals are affected by weather a lot because they're really sensitive to their environment. So if anything, it's helped me become more observant and more understanding when it comes to my cat and my cat's boundaries and my cat's preferences and my cat's personality. And I also discovered that animals really take on their humans' personality a lot, or at least they're really affected by the energies that the humans around them carry, and they are really affected by their environment. So, which is why, like, this is reminding me of like the Dog Whisperer. Cesar Millan runs that show. I think, no, it stopped. It's a new show now. But the Dog Whisperer, he always said that it's not the dog's fault that he has behavioral problems. It's the humans around the dogs that are kind of, like lacking discipline or giving too much affection. So yeah, I remember Cesar Millan always said that I rehabilitate dogs and I train humans. So that makes sense. I think animals themselves, they don't purposefully or consciously do something bad. They're reacting to their environment, and they're reacting to people's behavior, people that are around them, right? So yeah, I think like tarot cards during pet readings definitely opened my eyes to notice a lot of those things, if anything. And yeah, because like pet readings, they're completely just, you can't confirm them, right? And I know sometimes like humans just like I said, run away with their imagination. I do that sometimes, but I never let myself get to a point where, like, say I need to take my cat to a vet because he's acting really weird, but then I justify in my head, it's like, oh, there's some kind of aberrant energy in my house and my cat's just seeing something that I can't. Something like that, because that can get really dangerous. Because I remember talking to, I forgot when or where was this, but I was involved in a conversation with a woman who was asking about this, who was asking about her dog. It was a female dog, and then she was acting really strange. And then a lot of people were like, oh, I think it was an online forum or like a Facebook group. A lot of people were like, oh, I think your dog senses something like imminent, something bad that's incoming, like your dog is trying to warn you. And then I'm just like, okay, so I did a quick Google search, and then all the symptoms that she described matches basically the state where it's like, it seems like her dog is probably in heat. So I was like, are you sure your dog's just not in heat? Do you want to take her to the vet? And then she took her to the vet, and then that's what it is. Like, the dog was just in heat. And then I was just like, oh my god, like, when it comes to animals, a lot of stuff can be explained by science and facts and just understanding animal psychology. Like, not every instance of human, like, animal behavior, like, is an indication of some kind of, like, paranormal behavior in your house. Like, it's not that dramatic. Like, oftentimes animals can be, you should always have science and facts as your backbone when you're using divination tools to understand your animals. I feel like that's one of the dangers. Yeah, I just find it super fascinating that tarot cards can be, doing pet readings for using tarot cards to do pet readings. And I find that they're really insightful, they're really interesting, and then it really does help you establish a better relationship with your animals. And I think that's just something very incredible, I feel, because animals are really telepathic and intuitive. I definitely believe that they're really energy sensitive and they pick up on your emotions a lot. So I think just tapping into your intuition is almost just saying that I want to understand my animals more. I feel like they kind of know that, like, when you're trying to understand them, like, they could really understand, they could get a sense of, like, the closeness. I feel they could kind of know. I mean, I feel like they can't really logically register, like, my human is trying to do tarot readings to understand me, but I think they could they could feel the love. Like it's because if you want to understand your pet more, if you really want to understand like what's going on, how to solve this problem, it's because you care, right? I feel like they can register that. They can definitely feel the love in the air, so to speak. So yeah, and I just feel like it's been super beneficial for me to have a tarot practice, not just on myself, but also surrounding my animals. Well, just I have one animal, surrounding my cats, and I just feel like it's been really beneficial for me. And I just feel like more people should know about it, you know, like if you have an animal at home, if you have like a cat, a dog, a parakeet, a lizard, a tarantula, or if you're in a farm, you know, you work with horses or something, or cows or pigs, it would be awesome to just like read cards for them and see like how are the archetypes are different, how are they similar, how you reinterpret these archetypes, right? Because I know, like, for example, a lot of animal themed tarot decks portray the cow as the empress. So I wonder if they will get that card just because they're so graceful in nature, right? So that would be interesting. For me, my experience is really limited to cats, some dogs, because I have friends who have dogs and I've read for those dogs, and the results are really interesting. And I just feel like doing that has helped me look at tarot cards in a completely different way. And believe it or not, sometimes like when court cards appear in a reading, I would reading for animals are actually helping me understand human behavior and how to use and read court cards more. Interesting enough. But I think like any kind of relationship sort of feed into each other, even though it's like human versus human, or human versus not versus, like human to human relationship or human to animal. I think they're all like connected, like because we're all living organisms. I don't know what that means, but I feel like we're just so interconnected, and I think tarot archetypes definitely can apply to animals as well. I mean, we work with animal archetypes all the time, so why not do it like the vice versa, or why not do it reversed? So yeah, if you're just thinking of getting started with doing readings for animals and you don't know how to reinterpret them, I would like to offer you some of my thoughts and insights. So when it comes to major arcana, I feel like those things, those cards, the major arcana represents kind of just like if you think about human readings, right? Like major arcana represents like really big events, overarching energies and themes. They could be like worldview cards or personality cards. I find that certain major arcana cards really show up to kind of indicate what type of animal your animal really is, like kind of like a major like core personality trait, if you will. And they also indicate like major moments of transition, you know, like a tower moment could just be like a really drastic change in territory. A full moment could be like you taking your dog on a walk to a part of town that you've never been before, and then it's like really exciting, it's like a brand new world sort of thing. So you never know, like, but major arcana tends to be those things. I feel they tend to address those things, and I feel like they also sort of reflect this state of awareness that your animal can be in, especially when they're not busy chasing down something, when they're not driven by their instinct. I feel like it's those moments of stillness, what energy they're embodying, could show up as major arcana cards. And when it comes to minor arcana cards, like I said before, Suit of Pentacles is associated with territory. I feel like definitely the territory and environment, food, toys, resources for an animal, that kind of thing. And when it comes to swords, I feel that pertains to like communication, especially vocalizations, because you know, like air comes out, and stresses, anxieties, and also rules and discipline. I think this is especially true for dogs, because you know, dogs often require discipline in a house, so they would understand what boundaries are and stuff. Cats, well, I don't know if they discipline humans or we discipline them, but we for sure do not discipline cats. So maybe it's the other way around. But I think cats definitely embody like a stronger air energy or air vibe, just because I kind of feel like certain elements pertain to like certain species or breeds more. I feel like cats definitely have a stronger airy energy, and then dogs definitely have more pentacles or earth energy. But that's just me, so I don't know what you think. Leave it down in the comments below. And when it comes to cups, if you get like cards from the Suit of Cups, I feel like that's a pretty good indication of like your pet's moods or emotions, feelings, and also their connections to weather. Like I said, Five of Cups are my cat. It's always because of the weather. Like it's raining, almost nearly always. Yeah, it's like they're moody, and then, but I get the Nine of Cups and Ten of Cups a lot, so which is usually indicates that they're pretty happy about what they're experiencing. So yeah, like Suit of Cups is a good suit if you just want to pick out all the 10 cards. It's a good place to look if you're trying to just check in on their moods. And let's see, what else? Pentacles, Swords, Cups, Wands. So Wands, I feel like it's sort of like representative of their instinct, like an animal's instinct. Because, you know, for humans, it's about inner fire, it's about confidence, it's about inner drive, and purpose and creativity. The other for animals is definitely like something inherent that they have that drive them, and that would be their instincts, right? So I think it's also like, I wouldn't say like passion. I feel like passion is more of a human thing, but like when they really want to do something, their desires, like their drives, right? So I guess that's kind of like instincts, but sometimes not. Like say your dog really wants to go for a walk, and then it's in this playful mood. So that's another thing I feel like Wands, or the element of fire, could definitely indicate playfulness, and just like that's just the spirit of the animal, you know, like their instinct and their drive. So that, I feel like that's what the Wands cards from the Suit of Wands could mean. Okay, now when it comes to court cards are really interesting. And I know like court cards give like us enough trouble in a human reading, but they're not too bad once you understand how they work. So they really pertain to relationships. Like court cards, when you look at court cards, if you saw my court card videos for humans, they're always referencing someone else or something else. It's always a relationship. It's always like there's a point of reference that you are viewing. It's either like you perceive someone or something as this court card, or you are embodying that court card in that particular moment or and in that context. So for pets or for animals, I feel like kings are figures in their lives that are disciplinarians, that represents figures of authority, that sort of represents figures of power. So this could be like the dad in a house who does discipline while the mom is like doing all the affection stuff, right? This could be, you know, for dogs, they rank themselves in their pack, right? This could be like the pack leader, the perceived pack leader. In the house could be like another dog, could be the cat sometimes. So just whoever they perceive to be in the position of power or in the position of discipline. So I feel like that's what kings could represent, figures that sort of execute discipline. So queens are pretty easy. Queens are figures that provide nurture, care, affection. So like a motherly role, basically. So I think like with animals, it's not really hard to visualize, you know, like it's usually the mom. Actually, I don't know, could be the guy too. So whoever's like, you know, giving lots of trees, affection, pets, that kind of thing. And I feel like it could also speak to the cyclical sort of journey of an animal, maybe when your animal is giving birth or your animal's pregnant, so your animal's sort of in that maternal journey. So that could also indicate like, you know. So knights, definitely like, I think again, playfulness, someone who moves very fast, someone who's very spirited. It could also indicate like, they really want to be in pursuit of something. I feel like, you know, some animals have drives to hunt, right? So I think it could also represent their inner hunter when they're in the knight's mode. My cat doesn't really get knights at all. I don't think he's ever gotten a card for knights. The only time he got knight of swords, was because I asked him what he thought about my brother, who moves around the house really fast. And then he got the knight of swords, which basically said to me, he's always running around the house and making loud noises, which is Nine of Swords. So it's kind of like a literal thing, like a literal level, but it's pretty spot on. So that would be knights. And for pages, it would be someone who embodies youthfulness, like a puppy, a kitten, or baby, or someone who they perceive to be really like noisy and lively and energetic, kind of like a kid, like always jumping around and stuff. So this could literally be just a human kid, or I feel like it could just also be an adult who's acting really energetically, who's sort of like embodying the spirit of a page. So I think in essence, like I feel like the archetypes in tarot doesn't differ as much when you translate it into a pet setting. I think you just have to look at what would an animal consider a resource, what would an animal consider to be their environment, and what you know, kind of just see it through their eyes, but following the same archetypal principles. Yeah, so that's my sort of experiences, thoughts, and ideas and musings on using tarot cards for animals and in pet readings. And if you're interested in finding out more, if you're interested in starting a tarot and pet practice, I actually put together an amazing toolkit for you. So to help you bond with your animals with tarot cards, if you want to start like a journal or reflect on your experiences with your pet and the readings that you've done with the pet. So I actually put together a toolkit. I'm going to put the picture either here or here. I haven't decided. Probably here because there's the most space on the screen. So in there I got like printables, original spreads that are animal themed and pet themed. You know, that will help you problem solve if you want to put have a play date between two animals, how they perceive each other, how you can problem solve around that. You can try to understand two species if you have like a multi-species home. There's some awesome spreads about you and your pet's past life and karmic connections. There's also spreads about communicating with the animal species as a whole and connecting with your collective mind. So there's like tons of original spreads in that. And there's also like reflection spaces. There's also printables, stationaries to help you keep track of your daily draws if you do daily draws for your pet, or you're pretty sure most of us do daily draws for ourselves, but if you want to start one for your pet and also just log about their health and their mood and what the weather is like, just have this holistic tracker for your pet's health and wellness and tarot cards. And also have like an e-guide attached to the toolkit, which talks about everything pretty much I talked about, like my experiences with reading with pets, how you can reinterpret the tarot archetypes, some thoughts on that, and also just a guide on how you can use the toolkit. So I actually created this because I couldn't get it out of my head. You'll probably read about it in the intro of this document. I actually wanted to create some other tarot study resources for humans, but I just could not get this animal topic out of my head. So I had to create that first. So it's created and it's out in my shop and it's 25% off right now along with the winter den sale. So if you want to check it out, check out all the contents, make sure you visit my Etsy shop. I put everything that you're gonna get within the toolkit. Everything's listed on that listing. That's why it's called listing, because it lists things, and you can also see preview pictures and see what's it all about and decide if you want to pick one up and support my shop. So that'll be awesome. And I think that's it. Hopefully this video has helped you in some way, and hopefully it's piqued your curiosity when it comes to tarot and animals. Oh my god, and if you do tarot readings on your animals, like your pets, and especially if you have a really unusual pet, you have to do a video response or something, or write a blog post or something, and just let me know. Just let me know, because I'm really, really curious. Like, I know like a lot of people do pet readings for cats and dogs, but I've never seen a reading on like lizards or spiders or... I don't know, like it's just so fascinating to me. I mean, I'm really into animal communication too. Like that would just be like kind of communicating with animals telepathically, and I watch a lot of videos on that. I wish I'm a pet psychic, but I'm not. But yeah, I think definitely like there's some degree of communication going on that could happen energetically. That's probably going to be another video. But yeah, I think just for this video though, mostly be talking about tarot cards, so which I finished talking about. Yeah. So I think that's it. Did I miss anything? Let me check my outline. Nope, I didn't miss anything. Okay, so until next time, be the hero of your own story. If you have interesting pet tarot stories, let me know. Submit to my Fablestand email, fablestand@gmail.com. There's a Q&A. Fill it out if you're interested. Send it to me. I'll publish on my blog with all links included that you want to, websites that you want to link to. Anywho, until next time, be the hero of your own story. Keep calm and tarot on, and have an awesome, awesome week. Depending on when I post this, but have an awesome day. And just pure awesomeness in your life. See ya.